I think it's time for website stories.
So, Johnny, I've selected an article that was presented to me by my content filter system. I've got an app on my phone called Flipboard. I've got some keywords, I've got some hashtags, and it presents to me a number of articles. I will say the vast majority I ignore because, well, you can tell that people didn't really, do a very good job. It's just content marketing machine. But there was this one which intrigued me, written by Jose Antonio Lanz for a platform I've not heard of before called Decrypt. So I might, look into it more. But the title goes as follows: Google updates its SEO playbook for content generated with AI. I was like, okay, let's have a look at what this, because we recently talked about Medium putting together some rules that they would not necessarily accept, or certainly would not favor AI produced content. But so this is all to do with a small change in the first paragraph, a very, very important page for website managers and more, on the helpful content update. So Google has a blog, of course they have, and they tend to kind of keep people informed of new development. They try and keep it actually very simple, which is really, really good. But what was spotted by technicians of the internet was that there was a time where the phrase in the first paragraph read, written by people, which was this idea, this is what we deem to be helpful content. And now it's been changed to content created for people. So the source and origin of the content is perhaps not as important. We shall see. So Jose continues to investigate. So, well, maybe it's, of course, the right timing, because AI is everywhere. We've mentioned many, in our conversation. Google themselves are creating platforms. We know there's going to be a massive change on the search results page. They're looking into their own solution called Bard and many other things. And indeed, they've been playing for a while. But there's a word of warning. In fact, your new friend John Miller from Google is quoted in the article by saying, by definition, if you are using AI to write your content, it's going to be rehashed from other sites. Hint, we're not going to value that. So the article continues to explore, what that means, that change of phrase about from content written by people to content created for people. And there's certainly people accept that Google have put in place ways to detect AI-generated content, but it is also an imperfect system at this moment in time. So it is likely that even if people are going to be tempted to use AI to produce the content, it's going to be about the quality. And this is going to be the quality which is indicated by a number of signals, and the signals is about the length of stay. And for me, I then go back to Google again on their own the web page I cited, because they state that they use a number of signals to present information to their searchers, and they are looking for is original, helpful content created for people in our search results. But this idea of be careful is at the heart, I think, of this article. So there's been a slight change in the verbiage, if you will, used in that first paragraph about helpful content update, but this is not an open door to go all in on AI produced content.
They're admitting that AI is helping people write content, and they're admitting that AI can make that content that can enhance that content. It's all about how you use AI, the prompts you give it, the what you ask it to do. But ultimately, it comes down to, is this content resourceful? Is it helpful? Is it relevant? Does it read well? And as long as you're ticking all of those boxes, Google's saying it doesn't matter how you've created it, as long as it's resourceful, helpful, readable, for people. People would want to engage with it. That's the key thing. So where I think John was talking quite a bit about this, and I think the key thing that sort of came out of it is that, it's a great place to start. AI is a great place to start in terms of a structure, in terms of thinking about a sort of an essay plan in a way, a
Mm.
content plan. So it's a great way to give you that structure, but then it's about humanizing it, and making it right. So yeah, it's really interesting that they drop the written by people and instead change it to written for people. uh,
And it's interesting because that's been the history of SEO in particular. People picking half a sentence and making
yes.
and I thought this article is a lot more balanced than usual and presents the case for. And there will be, I'm guessing as well, because of this AI detection system that Google put in place, there will be mistakes in future, like Facebook making mistakes about photography, using AI to detect photography that is not in line with their guidelines. So there'll be some people going to be writing original content who sadly are going to get caught out. So we need to see what the next 6 to 12 months. But this AI subject matter is everywhere in the news. I mean, interestingly, I was invited to attend at the end of this month an AI security conference in Newcastle, and looking, what we can do, because ultimately there is still control, over the machinery.
Do you think in a few years' time it's going to say content written for robots?
No, I don't think it will do that because now, in fairness, because the robot will have all that information already in. They'll be smarter. Well, not smarter, but they'll be able to. But back to this idea of original content. That's what they're looking for. And John Miller is warning people, and you and I know that's the case. That ultimately, if you were to ask, put a brief together on ChatGPT and another, what you get back are sentences and half paragraphs from other sources, and you can't use it as is. I don't think it will match your tone of voice. And I'm still, to this day, I use it a lot for inspiration, but I usually use like a 4 word sequence. Oh, well, that's quite good, but everything has to be written by me because I just don't like the way it's formulated.
Yeah.